It's a busy time for Star Wars fans right now. Not only is The Last Jedi fewer than 2 months away from release, but Solo: A Star Wars Story has just wrapped principal photography. What can we expect to see in Solo: A Star Wars Story? Star Wars Rebels has returned to the small screen for its 4th and final season, and fans are already tucking into Season 2 of Star Wars LEGO Freemaker Adventures and looking forward to more episodes of Forces of Destiny. Plenty of product, but these days it's never enough. Back in 2005, George Lucas teased fans with a live-action TV series, one which would explore the underworld and the shady characters who inhabit it. Pre-production was apparently at a very advanced stage when Lucas pulled the plug on the project. Rumors filtered into fandom of the show, Star Wars Underworld, but as yet no official images or artwork have been released. Elements of the show were rumored to have been worked into episodes of the Clone Wars animated series and the cancelled computer game Star Wars 1313. Tantalizing, but fans never forget and more than ever hanker for a live-action series. Here's a look at 5 possible subjects for live-action shows that would not only fill in some interesting gaps but give fans old and new something meaty to chew on. R2 and 3PO. These two are the Laurel and Hardy of the Star Wars universe. A season-long animated series in 1985 gave fans an insight into the years the two droids wandered the galaxy, getting into scrapes under different masters before they came into the employ of Captain Antilles, their owner in A New Hope. Marvel's Star Comics line told more child-friendly adventures, and later Dark Horse Comics would continue their stories in a mini-series. With modern technology and the new canon in place, a show featuring the wandering droids could be huge fun and take us to places in the galaxy never seen before. Anthony Daniels voicing C-3PO would be a given, continuing his journey with the character that dates right back to 1976. The Clone Wars. Ever since the animated Clone Wars series was brought to a premature end by Lucasfilm after its purchase by Disney in 2012, fans have longed for a proper resolution to the stories set up by Dave Filoni and his amazing team. While Star Wars Rebels has satiated that hunger somewhat, there's little doubt a live-action continuation could bring a resolution to those stories and lead us into areas of the saga, the early years between Revenge of the Sith and Star Wars Rebels, that haven't been explored on screen yet. With many of the actors returning in Rogue One, Rebels, or showing a willingness to come back to the saga in some form, the cast would be packed with grade A talent. Knights of the Old Republic era originally delved into in the Dark Horse Comics era of the early 90s. This is something many fans have indicated they would be fascinated to see. Continuing in comics and computer game format, the era spans thousands of years but could show the building blocks of what became the Star Wars galaxy we know today. With far fewer canonical considerations to worry about, the show could go huge, with major battles, decisions, betrayals and events on a weekly basis. Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy. We're about to learn a lot more about the Academy in The Last Jedi, potentially learning who it was that destroyed it: Kylo, Rey, Snoke, or someone else entirely. With Mark Hamill clearly loving his return to the character of Luke Skywalker, there would never be a better time to get him back as the Last Jedi in a series, or mini-series, detailing the events that led to the destruction of the Academy. It also gives us a further insight into the era between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, something that is only now being dipped into by books and comics. Perhaps the animated series that follows Rebels will tell tales in this era. The option of utilizing Hamill while he is enthusiastic, fit and healthy seems wasteful to ignore. Ahsoka Tano. If you are not a fan of the animated Star Wars series, then you may not have heard of her. Ahsoka Tano was the young Padawan of Anakin Skywalker during the Clone Wars who left the Jedi Order at the end of the 5th season of Star Wars The Clone Wars and went underground, eventually joining the Rebel Alliance as one of its most important agents. A fan-favorite character, her fate and the years between the end of the Clone Wars and the start of Rebels are of great interest to fans. She could mix it up with the underworld, work with the nascent Rebel Alliance and link together elements of the Star Wars galaxy in a way never seen before. It's no mistake that her codename was Fulcrum. She could turn out to be the tipping point between losing the galaxy forever and giving it a new hope, bringing the various factions of rebels together into one unified alliance. There are many, many more ideas floating out there in the ether, and it remains to be seen what Lucasfilm will decide to do. More The Last Jedi trailer hints the next Star Wars film will go to the dark side. More Star Wars. Has Luke become a weird old hermit, like Ben and Yoda before him? More Star Wars. What role will General Leia play in The Last Jedi?